ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the academic procession.
Good afternoon. I declare this degree congregation and award ceremony open. Please be seated. It is wonderful to see you all here today as we celebrate the achievements of this graduating cohort. We are very proud of all that you have achieved. I am Professor Rachel Cragg, the university's Senior Pro-Vice Chancellor, and will be your Master of Ceremonies for today. And I am joined on stage by a number of colleagues. At the centre of the stage is Professor Nick Braisby, the university's Vice Chancellor, and to his left is Maggie Galliers, our Pro-Chancellor and Chair of the University Council. That is the university's governing body. Closer to me, we have Charlotte Leighton-Woods, from our Students' Union, and Ellie Smith, a member of the University Executive Team. And if you go to the far end of the row, we have Professor Musa Massain, Head of School for Aviation Security, and Paul Morgan, Pro-Vice Chancellor Student Experience, and Phil Packer, who will be receiving an honorary doctorate later in this ceremony. The remaining members of the platform party are members of staff from the School of Aviation Security. Now, we want this to be a family celebration and recognise that it can get a little hard going for some of the younger members of our audience. Parents and carers, please don't worry if your youngsters choose to participate. They are, after all, our future students. So I'd now like to invite Maggie Galliers, Pro-Chancellor and Chair of the University Council, to say a few words to welcome you to this degree congregation and awards ceremony.
Honoured guests, graduands, family and friends, I'm delighted as Pro-Chancellor and Chair of the University Council to welcome you to this wonderful milestone in BNU's calendar as we celebrate the achievements of our students. During this special and important week for our university community, more than 2,500 graduands will be awarded their degrees and qualifications. And I can't let this opportunity go by without saying how proud of you we all are, how we applaud the way you have overcome obstacles and been resilient at a particularly challenging time for the world. You have done something that not everyone can do, and I know that you won't stop here, but you'll go on learning and you will continue to make a positive impact in the world, in your work, within your family, and in wider society. I'm also very aware that on such an exciting day, it is not only our graduands who deserve recognition. Alongside them, I pay tribute to the friends, family, and university staff who have done so much to ensure that they had the skills, confidence, and opportunity to succeed. This is, of course, a time for us to celebrate all that our students have achieved. but it's also a time to wish them well as they embark on the next stage of their lives. This is not the full stop at the end of a book. It is the start of a new chapter. In a fast-changing world, BNU has prepared them to embrace new challenges and opportunities, and we look forward to hearing about what their future brings. Shortly, I will have the chance to congratulate each of this year's graduands as they cross the platform, and that, for me, is both a privilege and a real pleasure. I hope that you, like me, will enjoy this ceremony and that I have a chance to meet at least some of you as we continue to celebrate throughout the day. Thank you.
Thank you. It is now my great pleasure to introduce the university's Vice-Chancellor, Professor Nick Braisby.
Thank you very much. Let me begin by offering my sincere and heartfelt congratulations to all of our graduands. Today we are enormously proud to celebrate your achievements and offer you our very best wishes for the future. I hope you'll approach the next exciting phase of your lives with confidence that your dedicated study means you have the knowledge, the skills, and the understanding to help make a real difference to society. On the way, you've worked hard, you've overcome many challenges, and have now achieved success. And you will have benefited from the support of many people in helping you reach your goals, people who have been there for you when you needed them. As Oprah Winfrey once said, lots of people want to ride with you in the limo. What you want is someone who'll take the bus with you when the limo breaks down. So, to say thank you to those who rode the bus with you, first, I would like to pay a heartfelt tribute to all of the staff of the university. I know that they always go the extra mile for their students, work tirelessly to support them, and ensure their success. And they have risen superbly to the task, despite the additional challenges of the last couple of years. Can I ask you all to join me now in sincerely thanking the staff of the university? But you could not have succeeded either without the support of your friends, family, and loved ones. So, without losing your hats, can I please ask all the graduands to stand up, to turn around, find those in the audience whose love and support has helped you succeed, and give them a huge cheer and a round of applause. That was very good, but do you think we could make a little bit more noise? Once more, a cheer and a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you very much. Please have a seat. Now, research has shown that as graduands, you have a great deal to be thankful for. You will be healthier than non-graduates. You will smoke less. And you will drink less. Yeah, someone finds that funny. You will be more satisfied with your life. You'll be more tolerant and trusting of others, and you'll be more likely to vote. And if you have children, they will be better educated. And you will earn more than non-graduates, and you will live longer than non-graduates, which means you have to pay more tax. Now, the university always strives to do the right thing by our students, our staff, and our communities. But our society faces many challenges, especially continuing and often increasing inequality. Inequality challenges us all. Perhaps it is the defining challenge of our time. As Martin Luther King said, our ultimate measure is not where we stand in moments of comfort and convenience, but where we stand at times of challenge and controversy. 70 years ago, in 1952, the world faced a choice, whether or not to respect the identity of sexual minorities. That year, the American Psychiatric Association published its first Manual of Mental Disorders. It classified being gay as a sociopathic personality disturbance. In the UK in 1957, the Wolfenden Report was published, commissioned some years earlier, on the premise that being gay could not be regarded as an illness. However enlightened this view may have seemed at the time, it took a further 10 years before the government of the day implemented the Wolfenden Report's recommendations. And it was not until 1973 that the American Psychiatric Association voted that being gay was not a mental disorder after all. But even then, 40% of their members voted that it was. Now, I came out as gay in 1989 when I was 24, having spent my childhood and adolescence being aware of my difference, but being unable to accept it. I spent many years in turmoil, wrestling with my identity, hoping to square the circle of accepting I was gay whilst rejecting all that society said was bad about me. Of course, that turmoil ended when I finally accepted being gay and recognized that the many stereotypes of LGBTQ plus people were false, damaging, and wrong. So I warmly welcome the progress that has been made since 1952. It's right, for example, my husband and I are no longer considered mentally ill simply because of who we are. But I also know from my own personal experience there is still an enormous amount of progress yet to be made. I lament, for example, the plight of members of the trans community, some of the bravest people I've ever met, with much current discourse marginalizing this marginalized community still further. And across the globe, according to Human Rights Watch, at least 69 countries have laws criminalizing same-sex relations, and at least 9 criminalize forms of gender expression that target transgender and gender non-conforming people, with sentences ranging from fines to life imprisonment and even the death penalty. Now, you might ask why a university vice-chancellor should be so worried about challenges such as these. There are many voices in the media that claim universities are subject to woke obsessions. While I often find these discussions remarkably simplistic, I think it is important that universities rise to the challenge of explaining why they do what they do and why they care about the things they care about. Universities are institutions of learning in which we strive always to better understand the human, social, and natural world in which we live. We are focused on uncovering truth and developing knowledge, in applying reason and logic, and in seeking evidence that will either confirm or refute standpoints. But truth does not come only from certain kinds of people. It does not come only from the wealthy or only from the poor. It does not respect social class, gender, ethnicity, sexual orientation, age, or disability. We must look for and prize insight and understanding wherever they may be found. So it is because universities care passionately about advancing human knowledge, about finding solutions to our deepest questions and challenges, that we encourage everyone, regardless of background, to achieve their full potential. Let me give you an example of a little boy, Arthur, who wanted to be an engineer. He was born in St. Lucia in 1915 to George and Ida Lewis, both schoolteachers, who had moved to St. Lucia from Antigua some years earlier. As a young boy, Arthur suffered illness and for some months was schooled at home by his father. But at the age of 7, his father, George, died, leaving Ida to raise their 5 children alone. Now, Arthur was incredibly gifted, so much so that when he returned to school, he was placed in a class 2 years ahead. At the age of 14, he left school to work as a clerk, but he hoped one day to take his university entrance exam. And at the age of 17, He succeeded, winning a scholarship to attend the London School of Economics, the first black student to do so. But Arthur didn't know what to study. As he said, the British government imposed a colour bar in its colonies, so young blacks went in only for law or medicine, where they could make a living without government support. I wanted to be an engineer, but this seemed pointless, since neither the government nor the white firms would employ a black engineer. Well, Arthur completed his studies and then won a further scholarship to take his PhD, and in 1938 he was given a one-year teaching job. Arthur's teaching was restricted because of the fear that students would not wish to be taught by a black member of staff. In fact, Arthur recounted being subjected to all the usual disabilities: refusal of accommodation, denial of jobs for which he'd been recommended, generalized discourtesy, and the rest. Despite all the challenges he faced, all the reasons he might not have succeeded, Arthur Lewis was a huge success. He became Britain's first black lecturer, and then its first black professor. He went on to work for the United Nations and advised both African and Caribbean governments. He became the first vice-chancellor of the University of the West Indies. In 1963, he was knighted by Her Majesty the Queen. He was the first black person to hold a full professorship at Princeton. And in 1979, he became the first black recipient of a Nobel Prize for economics. In fact, the first Nobel Prize awarded to a black recipient outside of the disciplines of peace or literature. When I think of the example of Arthur Lewis, I see the fulfillment of extraordinary potential. But how easily it could have been otherwise. Had he set his sights lower? Had he not worked so hard or been so determined? Had he succumbed to the racism of the day? Had universities such as LSE and Manchester failed to overcome their own institutional racism? How different his life could have been. And how easily the world could have been denied the benefit of his wisdom and insight, perhaps never to learn from the famous Lewis model of developing economies. Arthur is said to have been enamored with education, believing it was the way in which individuals and societies could realize their ambitions. I wholeheartedly agree. It is perhaps the abiding and unshakable belief of all who work in universities. So for me as a university leader, addressing deep inequalities is not a woke obsession, but a requirement for ensuring that our society develops the best possible understanding of the world in which we live, so that we can collectively address our most serious and pressing challenges. Arthur rose to overcome his challenges, and universities will do the same. But I say to you all, graduates and guests, friends and supporters, universities need your help in doing so. Never in my lifetime have I known so many prominent voices express such hostility towards the values of higher education and towards individual universities. This discourse can only serve falsely to erode confidence in our public universities and threaten to undermine the good work that we do. The university's governing body, the staff, and I work tirelessly on behalf of you all, aiming to enrich society by adding to the stock of human knowledge and experience and enabling our students to reach their full potential. So I respectfully ask that when you hear unfair criticism of universities, please challenge it. Tell people of some of the wonderful things happening every day in our universities. And I hope you'll continue to support us by engaging with us and our work. Now, to our graduates, I hope that in the next stage of your journeys, you will go forward with a deep sense of optimism that the challenges you'll face, perhaps including the ones I have mentioned, can indeed be overcome. It will take hard work and determination. There may be people who do not expect or want you to succeed. But one thing is sure, you can be confident you have the knowledge, the skills and understanding, as well as the tenacity and determination to rise to these challenges and defend the values that have enabled you to succeed. As the Dalai Lama has said, With realization of one's own potential and self-confidence in one's ability, one can build a better world. Now, the university is highly skilled at rising to the challenges it faces, and today we celebrate many successes we've enjoyed over the past year. We are delighted to have achieved a position of top 5 among all universities in the UK for student satisfaction, and to rank first in the UK for satisfaction amongst our postgraduate research students. We improved our performance in the latest Research Excellence Framework, with 44% of our research being judged world-leading or internationally excellent. We experienced our 3rd consecutive rise in the Guardian University Guide, having climbed 44 places to our highest ever ranking of 77th, and we also climbed 43 places to rank 11th in What Uni's University of the Year. We again achieved a gold CSR accreditation in a national scheme which recognises sustainable and ethical businesses, and we were nominated for a prestigious Green Gown Award for student engagement. We won capital funding of £2 million from the Office for Students to help develop allied health through the university's Institute for Health and Social Care. And we continued to play our part in addressing the challenge of inequality. We became one of only 20 UK universities to pledge to develop a Student Futures Manifesto, responding to issues caused by the pandemic. We were the first university to sign up to the government-sponsored scheme to prevent the inappropriate use of non-disclosure agreements. We extended the Gypsy, Roma, Traveller, Showman and Boater into higher education pledge that we created, adapting it so it can be used in schools. We introduced new scholarships to provide financial support and a place of safety for asylum seekers and refugees, and we became one of only a handful of universities formally to adopt the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance definition of anti-Gypsyism and anti-Roma discrimination. And we proudly announced that we'd signed the Nature Positive Universities Pledge, becoming one of the scheme's founding university members. And finally, in May of this year, we announced that we would be appointing this week Jay Blades as the university's very first chancellor. Now, in the past year, the School of Aviation and Security has achieved some notable successes. The school expanded its pilot degree programs internationally to include the training of Qatar Airways cadets in partnership with Patria Aviation in Finland. The school was successful in winning funding for a project in collaboration with Bristol International Airport to reduce its Scope 3 emissions. BNU joined the UK Aerospace Research Consortium within the air transport pathway, helping to facilitate the sector's transition to net zero emissions by 2050. The school was also invited by the International Civil Aviation Organization, a specialized agency of the United Nations, to partner with them. Indeed, we are the only UK university to be afforded this accolade. And they've recently agreed to partner with us on an online version of our Masters in Aviation Operations and Management. And finally, the school was successful too in obtaining approval from the College of Policing to run a new undergraduate program in professional policing. And our partnership with Thames Valley Police grows ever stronger, with currently more than 600 apprentices, a number that will grow to more than 900 by the end of this year. Now, the school and university will go on to enjoy many more successes in the years to come, and we will always strive to do the right thing by our students, our staff, and our communities. And as we rise to our challenges, you can be sure that you have every warm wish, support, and encouragement from the university in meeting the challenges you face. Your involvement with the university does not stop. You are members of the BNU family, and we hope you'll remain active in our alumni association and consider coming back to study with us once again. It only remains for me then to offer you again my sincerest and most heartfelt congratulations. Very, very well done.
Thank you, Nick. Now we've arrived at the part of the ceremony that you've been waiting for, where we confer awards on our graduating students. In a moment, you will enter the stage to my left as graduands. You'll then walk across the stage and either shake hands or doff your cap to the Pro-Chancellor and Vice-Chancellor, whichever you feel more comfortable with. You'll then exit on this side of the stage as graduates. And whilst you do that, the audience will clap and cheer as we celebrate your achievements. The Head of School for Aviation and Security, Professor Musa Hussain, will now present graduates from programmes in his school.
Vice-Chancellor and Pro-Chancellor, I present to you the persons here today and those graduating in absentia to be admitted to the degrees of Master of Business Administration, Master of Science, Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Arts, Diploma, and Certificate of Higher Education. Master of Business Administration, Risk and Resilience, Claire Kelly. Gordon Schofield. Andrew Woods. Master of Science Aviation Operations Management, Philip Assendi. Mark Coleman. Michael Ikaga. Monica Kago Mamid. Ayombi Ismail. David Kistra. Payal Naidu. Yasin Uthman. Aidan Reynolds. Master of Science International Aviation Regulation and Law, Hilary Aberpsi. Joshua Fay. Nasser Salim. Shamathan Therologa Chanda. Master of Science of Organizational Resilience, Amanda Cope. Jane Hemmings. Stuart Males. Wayne Owen. Master of Science, Rural and Environmental Crime and Policing, Charlotte Cousins. Lucy Rawlings. Bachelor of Arts in Airline and Airport Management, Finesse Ade. Sorry. Sam Baudry. Muhammad Ilahi. Dylan Failoni. Advinas Gedamanskas. Bags Go. Anna Martins Madeira. Veronica Noeka. Victoria Platos. Asta Sana Kuna Lima. Marek Skolozko. Christina Tomaiga. Raquel Campiarello. Bachelor of Science, Air Transport Management with Airline Pilot Training at CAE Oxford, Peter Oxlade. Henry Padgham. Bachelor of Science in Air Transport with Commercial Pilot Training, Aisha Abdussalam. Michael Atkin. Zishan Anjum. Aldhous Bijou. Tristan Carter. Lewis Craigo. Matthew Davis. John Godfrey. Jake Kenny. Stephen Likos. Peter McGoldrick. Graham Onday. Vivek Patel. Kinjan Ranavaya. Ghalib Shahab. Nathan Tesfaye Denek. Bachelor of Science in Air Transport with Private Pilot Training, Lauren Graham Naylor. Luke Salisbury. Oliver Valentine. Gerald Yanka. Mobin Jacob. Bachelor of Science in Aviation Management for Professional, Christopher Baines. George Eldridge. Kiara Favor. India Gibson. Philip Goff. Andrew Haig. Natasha Jones. Habil Kadida. Hubert Glubsch. Daniela Perlini. Ryan Savage. Edward Thornywork. This concludes the first half of the presentation of awards.
So congratulations to everyone who has crossed the stage so far to now become BNU graduates. We're now going to pause the student awards for a moment to present our honorary award, and I'm pleased to welcome Professor Paul Morgan to introduce the recipient.
Phil Packer sustained catastrophic spinal injuries while on operational duty with Her Majesty's Armed Forces in 2008. To understand the scope of his disabilities and to regain his self-esteem, Phil embarked on several arduous physical challenges for charity. After surgery and 5 months of hospitalisation, the first 3 challenges took place within 6 months: rowing the English Channel, walking the London Marathon in 2009 in 14 days, and scaling a Capitan in Yosemite National Park over 4 days. These 3 challenges raised more than £1.3 million for the wounded. Phil completed the London Marathon again in 2010 in 26 hours for 26 charities, as well as the 3 peaks for sport relief. Then in 2012, he successfully completed 2,012 miles throughout every county in the UK. With his spinal injury, this was the equivalent of 310 marathons in 331 days. Phil was subsequently asked to be ambassador and patron of several charities, including the Prince's Trust, Scouts UK, Cardiac Risk in the Young, and the Helen Rollason Cancer Charity. Many of Phil's charity duties include spending time with young adults with mental and physical disabilities, and after supporting 26 charities in 2010, he still felt that there could be more collaboration in the charity sector. In 2011, Phil founded the British Inspiration Trust, BRIT. Since then, Phil has remained its non-paid CEO in the hope of encouraging people to volunteer support or professional services to the charity. To understand the full scope of young adult and student mental health, Phil has also visited more than 550 universities, colleges, schools, charities and communities throughout the UK. This year alone, he has carried out well over 100 visits to universities and colleges in England and Wales, with a tour of Scotland, the North West and the Midlands in the coming months. During the past 3 years, Phil has coordinated the annual Brit Challenge, an inclusive feel-good fundraiser for every UK university and college to enter teams and encourage participation to improve young adult, student and staff mental health and fitness. To date, almost 250 university and college teams have taken part. It was during the very first campaign in 2019-20, then called Row Britannia, when Phil challenged all universities and colleges to row 2,021 miles to raise funds for sport relief. BNU immediately accepted the challenge, and the university community showed immense effort to complete the rowing on campus and at Marlow Rowing Club, led by alumni and Honorary MA Naomi Ritchie's MBE, who joins us today. The university went on to host a series of rowing sessions and was joined by Brit Ambassador and BBC Sports presenter Gabby Logan, Naomi Ritchie's, the University Council, the Students' Union, and staff and students, and Phil himself. Even during the pandemic, while completing another 2,021 miles of running, walking and rowing for the Brit Challenge, Phil and Naomi launched our Mental Health Awareness Week, inspiring BNU with the benefits of exercise and reminding its community of the importance of supporting young people's mental health, particularly during a global crisis. Phil now has ambitious plans to destigmatise mental health and promote equality, diversity and disability inclusion. More than 200 Olympians, Paralympians, sports personalities, adventurers and explorers have joined the Brit Ambassador family to share their lived experience and inspire young adults and students to also take part in the annual Brit Challenge. Phil is determined to make the Brit Challenge a legacy event for the higher and further education sectors and specialist colleges, and to grow the Brit Ambassador family. He has also implemented BRIT regional steering groups led by universities and colleges in Scotland, Wales and 8 regions of England. The high esteem in which Phil is held was marked by his receipt of an MBE military in 2010, the prestigious BBC Sports Personality of the Year Helen Rollason Award in 2009, and as Pride of Britain Fundraiser of the Year in 2009-10. He has forged relationships with the British Olympic Association, the British Paralympic Association, and a wealth of education governing bodies, including Universities UK, Guild HE, Independent HE, the Association of Colleges, Colleges Wales, and Colleges Scotland, all of whom support BRIT and the delivery of the annual BRIT Challenge. Since our introduction, BNU has enjoyed a very special relationship with Phil, and we will continue to support him in championing positive mental health, fitness and well-being amongst our diverse community. Vice-Chancellor and Pro-Chancellor, I am delighted to present to you Phil Packer for the award of Honorary Doctor of the University.
Thank you very much indeed to the university for this award. Paul, thank you very much indeed for the long citation. I'll keep this short because it's very warm in here as well. I was asked to say a few words, but I don't want to write a speech. I wanted to read the room and look at everybody and then I think get a feel for what I should say. So I've made a few notes, so my apologies if it's not going to flow as well as the Vice-Chancellors. But I feel that I feel a bit in awe and a little bit intimidated now I'm up here. I think the resilience that you've shown during the pandemic to be able to be here today is quite extraordinary. And to be honoured on your special day means a huge amount to me. What do I say to all of you? If it's a hints or tips or advice, I really don't think I'm in a position or qualified to do that. But I did think of 3 things I could say. Have fun, first of all. I think the jobs and appointments that you're going to go into, just listening to the courses that you've graduated from are intense, I think, to say the least. And I think it's really important to be able to take that little bit of time out and have fun with family and friends. And secondly, please look after your mental health and well-being. I think that it's very easy to work long hours and suddenly get into a routine where you don't give enough time for yourself. And I really think it's important that every employer make sure that that's the case. And also that you do that as well. I say that because the hand that's been dealt to me is that I feel that I'm so lucky to be working in the charity sector with the further and higher education universities and colleges. And travelling around is, I wouldn't say humbling, I think sometimes it's actually quite shocking to get in the car and then drive away thinking the number of students and staff with mental health challenges is rising. And through no one's fault, to see professional services is about a 2-year waiting list. So I think it's really important to check in with friends and family, to look after yourself and just take that time out so life's that little bit less intense. Thirdly, it would be, well, I suppose it's a good time to say, coming from the charity sector, I think that it's going to be a tough few years ahead for everybody, and particularly for charities in the UK and internationally. And I guess it's an ask, a gentle ask, that it's hard for charities. They do extraordinary things, but they need support constantly. If you are able to find a charity that resonates with you, and you really like what they do, give a few hours to them, perhaps, once a month. Or do something once a year. But engage and support if you can, because I couldn't have done any of the things I've done since I've been injured without support from other people. I didn't want to use the opportunity to talk about myself, but I would like to say that I feel very fortunate to have such a special relationship with the university that's growing stronger and stronger. My guest today, Naomi, has become a great friend, and I just feel very, very fortunate to have a lot of people around me who inspire me. May I wish you the very best of luck in your next adventure. Do look after yourselves, and thank you very much indeed. And I will be delighted to continue the special relationship and pledge to do what I can for the university to have a positive impact, I hope, on student and staff mental health. Thank you very much indeed.
Congratulations, Phil, and thank you for your inspiring words. We're now going to make the award of the most inspiring tutor in the School of Aviation Security. I invite the head of school, Professor Musa Hussain, to announce the name.
The most inspiring tutor award is made to the academic member of staff who has motivated students to be successful in their studies. The students here today have submitted nominations for their most inspiring tutor, and the award is made on the basis of their recommendation. Comments made by students about today's winner included extremely supportive and unlocks the full potential of all students, has been an embodiment of knowledge, is thorough in all their teaching and constantly supporting. Vice-Chancellor and Pro-Chancellor. Unfortunately, the recipient of this award was not able to be here with us today. However, we will ensure that they receive the award at the first available opportunity. I am very pleased to announce the award of Most Inspiring Tutor goes to Gail Roundtree.
Clearly a very popular choice. Congratulations to Gail. So we will now return to the part of the ceremony where we will confer awards on our graduating students. The head of school will now continue with the presentation of graduands.
Bachelor of Arts in International Tourism Management with Air Travel, Chrisanne Dyer. Jaspreet Kaur. Heidi Thorne. Mariana Valente de Cruz Correa. Bachelor of Arts in Organizational Capability Development, Tony Armstrong. David Arthur. Sandy Burns. Robin Cross. Paul Curtis. Aidan Day. Jack Dutton. Joseph Fishlock. Andy Ford. Luke Godfrey. Kenny Howard. Ian Hutchinson. Glenn Hymers. Rachel Kay. Dean Kerr. Janine Lawson. Stuart Lawson. Tasha Lindley. Lewis McCabe. Gareth Mead. Lisa Mitchell. Rhiannon Morgan. Leon Muir. Carl Pendlington. Robert Porter. Gareth Sayer. Darren Simpson. Gillian Slattery. Sean Turton. Robert Vaughan. Robert Ward. Philip Work. Martin Williams. Adam Wright. Craig Young. Bachelor of Science in Police Studies with Criminal Investigation, Toby Bemis. Chloe Charlotte. Chris Coles. Chelsea Collins. Also receiving the school prize for best performance in the dissertation, Emma Dowding. Hello, Emma. Well done, Emma. Zafran Harper. Joshua Howlett. Asmat Mubarak. Alicia Mahmood. Sajda Mushtaq. Bethany Smith. Emmy Smith-Davies. Also receiving the Thames Valley Police Shield, Charlie Wilde. Molly Young. Bachelor of Arts in Protective Security Management, Simon Walters. Bachelor of Arts in Security Consultancy, Mark Baker. Daniel Brotheridge. Libby Hooper. Stacey McIntosh. Michael Newbrook. Stephen Pocock. Bachelor of Arts in Airline and Airport Management, David Jurana. BA Airline and Airport Management, Bruna Mendes Dura. This concludes the presentations of awards.
So I'm now very pleased to introduce the graduate nominated by the university to speak on behalf of you all. Please welcome Jack Dutton.
Vice-Chancellor, Pro-Chancellor, Sirs, Ma'ams, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of my fellow graduates, I give sincere thanks to Professor Nick Braisby for receiving the graduates of the School of Aviation and Security. Firstly, I want to thank all our lecturers and support staff at the university, as without their hard work and support throughout, none of this would be possible. Anyway, I've been told time is short, and my last speech was measured with a calendar on the back of the wall, so for all our sakes of the heat, we'll go on with it. I've just got a couple of takeaways from my time at BNU that I'd like to share with you all today. Takeaway number one. My first experience at BNU was my courses familiarisation visit, where I got to meet Wayne, John, and my other lecturers. It was an intriguing day, learning what a mess I'd managed to get myself into. I'd signed on to a degree whilst working a full-time job. However, something was mentioned on that first day I'd like to share with you all today. John said, everyone in this room has already taken the first and hardest step. So let that sink in a moment. To be honest, it went straight over my head, as did many things that day. It was only later, after reflection, I understood. All of us had a daunting challenge ahead, a degree. These last years will have taken a lot of sacrifices and have not been easy. However, we all knew that going into it, but had the courage to go through with it. Take this moment as the first page of a new chapter. Where does it go? Who knows? And to be honest, who cares? Doesn't matter. But savor that feeling that you took the first and hard step to get here. Now you can take another hard step and push towards something else you want to accomplish. So my second and final takeaway. It is safe to say all our various degrees have provided a unique skill set to bore our families and significant others to tears about minutiae details that only we find interesting. For example, all of us from the aviation course can go to an airport and talk for days about the intricacies involved in air travel with alliances, mergers, code-sharing agreements, explain the hub and spoke model. I did this as me and my partner went on holiday. Suffice to say, we now travel by train. Nevertheless, amongst these obviously valuable skills, higher education has developed crucial life skills in analysis, critical thinking, and time management. It's that last one I want to focus on a little bit today. time. We always say we never have enough of it. Although, we all found time, amongst everything that has gone on, to write assignments and complete dissertations. I don't know about you, but for me, there were moments where I sat at my desk and dreamt of doing anything but. However, now you can pick something you want to achieve and utilize your time effectively to accomplish what you want to do. Do something that you can look back on next year and say, I used my time wisely. So in conclusion, you may disagree with what I've taken away from my studies, and that's fine. However, I urge everyone to take some time to reflect on the degree and what you've achieved and think of a couple of your own personal takeaways. Now, on behalf of the student community, I'd like to congratulate Mr. Phil Packer on his Honorary Award. I'd like to conclude by once again thanking Professor Nick Braisby for receiving the graduates of the School of Aviation and Security. Congratulations, everyone. Thank you, and good luck.
Jack, thank you for that really inspiring and brilliant speech. Many congratulations to all of you for all that you've done to achieve your degrees. Congratulations, you did it. That wasn't the most rousing applause, I don't think. Shall we do it again? Congratulations. So, having now achieved your awards, you have your careers and many exciting new opportunities ahead of you. We wish you every success in everything you do in the months and the years ahead, and I hope that you will always carry with you your fond memories of your time here at Buckinghamshire New University. So before we finally close, let's plan our exit strategy. Graduates and their guests are invited for refreshments and to celebrate further back at the university campus. And in a moment, the platform party will process out of the theatre, followed by the graduates, and we request that you remain seated in the auditorium until the students have filed out. On leaving the theatre, we encourage you to use all the available exits, and please meet up with your graduates back at the campus as we celebrate their achievements. As you leave the theatre, university colleagues will be on hand to direct you. But first, now's your turn, let's raise the roof for a final round of applause to congratulate our graduates. Let's see how much noise you really can make. Excellent. I think we all deserve those refreshments now, don't we? So please stand until the graduation procession and all the graduates have left the auditorium, and enjoy the rest of this very special day.